Hi everyone. This is just a reminder that you're to do your meditations to get yourself in the zone as you get yourself ready for your readings. So we are in module 5. I think this is the last time I'm going to try this, and then it might just have to wait till tomorrow night. I don't know what's going on, but we're having difficulties with technology. It is what it is. So we are module 5. We're more than halfway there. So let's take a look at what we're going to be looking at. We are actually going to look at deeper readings, and this is a readings for advanced insight. So what does that mean? We're going to work with our intuitive hits and integrating feelings during a reading, and we're going to explain this process of the card reading and how it works, and we'll break it down for you step by step as to what you can expect. Okay. And here we are. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to set an intention for the reading, and start by centering yourself and setting a clear intention. This creates a really receptive state so that you can have very clear messages come for you, that your intuition is giving you the hits that you are getting. And this will keep you calm and focused for the reading. So you really want to set that intention and say, this is why I'm doing the reading for what. This just gives that clarity and conciseness to it, okay? So that is really key. There's lots of documentation out there and books, and I read a couple of great books years ago on intention setting. So it doesn't have to be huge. You just need to know why you're approaching the card reading why you're approaching the card reading, period. Okay, let's go on. So as first, you want to draw cards and observe your initial impression. So that's number 2. And as you draw that first card, your thoughts, feelings, or impressions that will surface, you need to write those down. Notice any initial subtle thoughts, images, sensations, whatever these intuitive hits are. They might be flashes of light, words, colors, or memories. Here, you don't want to put yourself in a judgy, analyzing mood. You want to sit there and say, okay, this is what I'm receiving as intuitive hits. Write it down, colors, memories, whatever they are, let them come naturally. Let it unfold and just keep writing until you're finished. You'll know when to stop. There's no like set time. You'll know when to stop, and then you just do that. This is just like you're just taking a step back and saying, oh, this is what's transpiring. Oh, this is what's coming out. And accepting that and knowing that that's what's coming out, and don't do anything other than that. Just write it down. Then while you're doing the one card pull, you just take that moment to check in with your own emotional responses. So here's our card for the day. It is tender. And this is really fascinating because tender is all about you emphasizing the vulnerability. So that means that you are truly open and receptive and not judging, not trying to, chase away what's happening, but that you have opened yourself up to what is coming. This is significantly important because messages will resonate with you more, and you will gain more of a concise and clear, you know, information of some kind, whatever it is. It's really important that you take a look at the guidebook, because this is on page 95 of the guidebook, and look up the numerology of 95, and it all talks, and that's on Sacred Scribes. Joanne actually does it, and it's fantastic. And it all talks about choices and direction and life purpose and enlightenment. So as we open ourselves in a vulnerable state, we are demonstrating a different type of receptivity of what is going to come through. And we then, once we receive this information, we are in a state where we can sit there and say, this makes sense, or it's a contradiction, or whatever it is, just being in that state is key here. This is a lot of effort to do. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. Practice the receptivity of vulnerability, because when we're asking our questions, whatever about whatever situation there is, we are saying to the universe, to the consciousness, to God, to Father Sky, Mother Earth, whoever it is that you are affiliated with, or to the masters, I am willing to receive the information I require at this time. There is nothing more beautiful than that. Whether we believe it or not at the time, that will come. Whether we sit there and agree with it, that will come as well. Because what you're doing is you're opening up yourself to the messages that need to be coming to you. They need to be conveyed. Kind of cool. All right. So, interesting enough, the next thing to think about is to pause and tune into your feelings. And I know you're only doing one card pull, so take a moment to check in with your emotional responses to the card. This is really great. You want to pay attention to any shifts of energy or feelings as you interpret the cards. So often these emotional cues will reveal layers of meaning and can offer guidance on which message resonates most with you receiving it. I think that's great, right? So what does that really look like? So here is a feelings list, and the category under the feelings list is accepting and open. So when you're open, these are some of the feelings that you may experience to be open and receptive. So calm, centered, content, fulfilled, patient, peaceful, relaxed, present, serene, trusting. Oh, that's a good one because that goes in with tender, trusting, that vulnerability state. So this really is a great list, and I'll tell you where I received it in the next couple of slides. You'll see that. So by being in a feeling state of acceptance and openness, if you feel these things, then you know you're there. Okay? It's really important. Here is the full Hoffman Institute Foundation 2013 feelings list, and I wanted to share this with you because I think it's important. Sometimes we don't know how to describe our feelings, and it's really great if you want to print this up and have this beside you, because there's several categories. It goes accepting, angry, annoyed, connected, loving, disconnected, grateful, stressed, anxious, unsettled, doubtful, powerless, weak, hopeful, embarrassed, shame, despair, courageous, powerful. Like there's so many categories here where you can actually take a look at the feeling state associated with that. So sometimes you might say, I feel shame. And then when you look at that, you can say, were you humiliated or inhibited or mortified, or did you feel whatever these are? I don't want to spend so much energy towards that category, but those are our feeling state categories that you can take a look at and help you in while you're doing your writing to write down more in depth what that means, because you're going to find out that's going to start transpiring into a story and give you more information. Here's a great next step after you've done all that feeling, emotions, and you've described it and you've written it out. You want to pause and tune into your body. Our bodies really are great little magnifiers of what's going on in our lives. And so I have from the Hoffman Institute Foundation body sensations that you might feel. So this is what you want to write down as well. You want to write down, do you feel any of this? I mean, you may not, that's fine. But if you do, I love this word, spacey. I have actually felt that while doing a card reading and not really known how to write that I was feeling spacey and what that meant. I've also had that vibration, where I've felt very peaceful and calm and then highly energized and vibrating. So while you're having looking at your card, like if you look at the word tender, and then you take a look at the feeling state that when the minute that you had when the minute that I read that out, what was your feeling state, your emotion, and then what is your body sensation? For me right now, that feeling state is very calm and neutral, and I'm open because I'm writing. It relates, I should start again. It relates to an actual action that I was doing, an activity. I was writing for my memoir, and I was talking about a very vulnerable situation or experience, and what was coming out was very balanced and harmonious. And I truly, in my body, felt um, really vibrate, warm and vibrating. And here, tender is there too, and settled. Oh wow, like what a great word. So I can actually express that now, going back and reading what I wrote, because it was very hard um, experience that I was talking about. So it's really interesting. I can go back now and look at that, and that will be able to express the same thing. When we have a card, we're able to express these things. We're able to talk about what that body sensation is. I'm hoping that this is clear. If not, email me or direct message me, and maybe we can have a chat. But what I'm wanting for you to do is to write out all this, because as you're writing and you're starting to kind of frame and format a story, something is coming out from that card. It's a divination tool that assists us in empowerment. And how do we become empowered is to sit there and recognize our emotional state, how we're feeling, what we're thinking, what our body is telling us, so that we can derive more information about who we are as people, what choices we can make for our own lives that better our lives, what actions we can do, that kind of thing. That's the whole purpose and point of this. These tutorials is to assist you in this process. So we want to blend this intuitive impressions that we're getting with traditional or symbolic meanings of each of the cards. So notice how this is all going to interact. Now this is the pulling together. So a card will traditionally, represent whatever it's going to represent, whatever you see it to be. So let's say you receive a card that says change, and you feel really calm and reassured. So that means that you're welcoming, that could mean that you're welcoming that change. So look for what that is, what that hit is, how you're feeling, what your body is saying, and the card, the symbolism of the card. So you might look at, like we had talked about, colors, um, numerology, what the word what word prompt came out, whatever it is. So as we're digging deeper, we're looking for the meaning of this all. And yes, every card reading, this is what will come out. And as you do this more and more, it will be not as intensive. It will come as second nature for you. So I think that's really important for you to know. But you have to put the work in. I'm going to tell you that right now. For you to do this, you have to put the work in. And I was just reading a book by a tarot. Um, she teaches tarot, and she says if you're doing the work and the exercises in the book, then your readings will be more robust, clear, concise, and give you the information that you need. If you're not doing it, you're not going to get anywhere. So this is not the time to take a step back. This is the time to really go for it and look at these aspects in a card reading. Okay, communicate and integrate. So as you consider the card's message and how it aligns with the current situations or your emotions or your experiences, you want to sit there and communicate what this what is coming out? You just want to start writing. I'm such a proponent for like, come on, you got to write this out. Taking note of it is not enough. That's like an observation. By you writing it out, you're going to receive more information and you're going to see how this is all starting to pull together. And with that, it's what I call wrapping up. It's like you're closing in on your reflection. You're going to say, what really resonated me the most deeply? What is this final integration? Because it's going to reinforce the message that you're receiving, and it's going to provide you the guidance, clarity, and the connection of the card with what your intention is for the read. This whole approach builds a much richer reading experiencing. It balances intuitive insights with your emotional integration for really a well-rounded, empowering session. So I just want to share that with you. Now, we're going to take what we learned from last week and we're going to look at, you looked at this really in depth for the 3-card spreads, but I'm going to take those 4 pieces that we talked about, symmetry, repetitions, contradictions, and harmony, and now we're going to look at, those aspects in your 1 cards with everything else, and you're going to say, are there any contradictions? Like, did something come up for me that I said, no, this card isn't for me? Well, write it down as to why you feel that way. Is there symmetry? Is there repetition? Are you getting similar themes in your stories or what you're writing in your journal writing? Or is there harmony? And what does that look like? Because all of this is going to pull into that big, beautiful heart, that self-love, that self-respect, that self-acknowledgement, that self-validation. It's called alignment. It's all going to pull into alignment. And you're going to see this transpire as you put the work in, definitely. So what are you going to do? What's your exercise? I told you this week is pretty quick, but there's a lot of work to do. This is quite intense, actually. You're going to pull a card every single day for a week, and you're going to track your patterns. And what you're going to do is you're going to look to see, is there symmetry, harmony, contradictions, repetitions, and integration? Because all of that together is going to demonstrate alignment. You're going to sit there and say, this is the messages I'm receiving. This is what's being conveyed. This is what Spirit is wanting me to know. And these are the choices, decisions, actions, behaviors, or whatever that I value, my beliefs and what I see and how I can move forward. I think that's pretty profound, to tell you the truth. We're going to close off with self-reflection, and we're going to go more into this for next week. So self-reflection is such a vital component of developing your intuition and enhancing your oracle card reading practice or your tarot. It's for all. By taking the time to look inward, you're going to create a deeper connection with your inner self and the messages your cards are conveying. You know what? You're going to start by carving out those quiet moments in your day that you're going to dedicate to this introspective process. Journal, meditation, or simply sitting in stillness, all of that really aligns and helps you. We're going to go more about, open-ended questions, about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. That's going to be next week. We're going to go more into depth. But at the end of the day, this process that we've talked about not only fosters self-awareness, but it helps clarify the patterns and themes that emerge during the session, your card reading session. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so very much. Take good care, and let's see if this will upload and do what it's supposed to do. All the best to you. Thanks. Bye.